All right, technical difficulties fixed, hopefully. I'm on my phone in my desk with like 5 other computers that seem to be not working. We're live. Check the audio. I have no idea what it sounds like. It's with AirPods. Hey, this
It
just
sounds
chalk
like
it up.
you sound like you're about 1 octave higher than your normal voice.
Yeah,
Whatever.
it's so funny.
Oh, whatever. Okay, we're going with it. Because I can't hook to anything else. Whatever. I did by Kara and Rouvy this week, and we know that my whoosh is happening, but it doesn't sound good. All right, fine. Let's see if I can change. Let me change the microphone here. Hold on.
You sound like a Muppet. And
You sound like you're talking to a voice changing microphone, like you're. Oh.
That sounds like you normally. It's just very quiet.
Yeah.
Going into the iPhone.
Oh, this is great.
So, yes, there was a lot of My Whoosh going on. We had the finishing up of the My Whoosh championships. So we have the full results for that. We had the US qualifiers for World semifinals. And yesterday we had Canada qualifiers for World semifinals.
And there was also the open qualifiers as well. There was stage 3 and 4, I believe, this week.
Yes, open qualifiers. So that was super interesting because each country did a little bit different. Canada, like US had one race. Canada actually split it into 2 stages, 2 shorter stages with points. I'm just going to pull up where I had.
Yeah. I watched stage 3, and stage 3 single race was really exciting. Like I missed the Canada one that Lee's going to talk about here.
Because we were just looking at the technical guide for here. Because what was interesting was the amount of riders each country gets to bring to semifinals. And the quotas were based on 2023 finals and points. So there's some countries not even listed on here, which I would guess those countries' riders could get in based on the open qualifiers. I think that's how it works.
In theory, yes. I know I watched the stage 3, and a guy from Spain finished 3rd. He was tied like points. It was 152. And I think he was like 200ths of a second. So that's why he finished 3rd. He was 200ths of a second behind the guy that finished 2nd, but they were tied in points. And someone in chat said it's a shame that he won't even get to be represented because Spain, I guess, doesn't recognize it. So I don't know. Like that's the kind of thing that I'm curious about. He did it, raced, finished, scored enough points to qualify, but like, does his country have to say recognize it? So that's kind of a interesting caveat to this.
When you look at this list, what's interesting too is like Slovenia has spot for women 3. They totally don't have any for the men.
And something else too. Colombia is a massively representative, like the highest represented SRC country, and there's not even a spot for either men or women, which is I thought was really interesting that they didn't have a spot, and they were SRC the highest country participation going back for a long time.
Yeah, that's totally strange. But I mean, I guess based on the way these point systems work and based on that you had to have been in the 2023 finals.
Yeah, 2023 and 2024 is like a combo.
So, I mean, I guess you kind of have to work your way in to actually get spots. It's probably, you'd have to work your way in through the open qualifiers because this is what each country gets. But I would believe that they have an allocation for randos.
Yeah.
Oh, better microphone.
Yeah, we can hear you.
That's a little better.
You have to hold that microphone in your mouth the whole time now.
Yeah, or I'll hold it like this. I don't sound like I'm in a fishbowl.
Dude, what's
Sorry,
funny
Brian.
is like you were on the show from your car with all your stuff and you're like sounded fantastic, and now you're in your house and nothing's working.
Yeah, there's some technical difficulties we got to work on, Lee.
Yeah.
But this my whoosh stuff is pretty cool. You guys were just saying that, like, so it's like it's not a given that every country is.
Well,
That's-
how many?
yeah,
Well, because we were talking like how many spots you get is based on how well you did in previous 2023 and 2024 World Championships. So so what happens is Group A, the top 4 points are allocated 10. Group B gets 7. Group C. So it's based on point system. So you can work your way in through open qualifiers and semifinals. But this is how many, like Germany gets 10 men and 7 women for semifinals. And semifinals then goes into 20 men, 20 women for finals. So, I mean, if Germany can send 10 men, there's a potential Germany could be half of finals. Or it allows for teamwork. Say you have 10 Germans or 10 people from the USA in semifinals, you could actually say, well, hey, you know, out of these 10, legitimately 1 or 2 of you guys have a chance to get into finals. Let's all of us work for these 2 dudes to make sure they're in finals.
So you mean teamwork to get people in, but
Into
not
the
teamwork,
finals.
not teamwork to like teamwork in racing. Much teamwork.
Yeah. Well, just in the fact of like teamwork in, say, someone from the USA goes on a break, the rest of the Team USA is not going to chase, and they're not also going to work. So it doesn't work as well virtually,
In theory,
but in theory it could still potentially work if no one decides to like
let's
do
ask
any
Brian.
effort.
That's Brian. Brian, you have a team in your SRC races. How much teamwork stuff is actually going?
Well, it just depends on the course. I will say this. So we have coordinated attacks for breakaways before. We have coordinated like that. And we've also rode trying to say not drive the pace so someone that's a little bit lighter can get to the climb, and because obviously they climb better because they're lighter. So there is a little bit of teamwork. My Whoosh Championships, there was always in the back of your mind, because sometimes it was hard to keep track of your teammates. You know, it was a different perspective than this, but you're like, hey, I need to be always on the hammer trying to move up in case something happens to a teammate. So in this aspect, I would say, let's just say you get 4 people from the United States, or 5, or whatever the number is, and you'd be like, okay, this is 100%, I'm going to work, cover the breaks, or actually try to, maybe make some groups respond to maybe thin out, burn some matches. So there's definitely that aspect. The only issue is with my Whoosh Championships, the races were long enough to where that might play out. SRC is, but these qualifiers are pretty short. So I don't know. Yeah. Yeah. So,
Your ambitions.
yeah, and like with the World Championships, like when in real, cycling, every country has their team. Obviously, like for Slovenia, Tadej Pogačar is going to be at the front of the pack. They're going to kind of work for him. So it could be the same thing. It could be like, say, United States coaching or cycling says, hey, these 2 riders, whoever it may be, let's say Nathan Guerrera and Mason Roca, they are the 2 that we want that have the best shot, and then like the other riders are kind of riding in support of them. It could be like a ragtag team sort of, hey, this is what our plan is, and then through the communication, just like team radio, it's like on Discord, be like, hey, this ain't working out. I don't have it today, and then someone else kind of has a shot to go. But then again, they're so quick and so short with these qualifiers and stuff that it may just be, hey, these are our 5 best riders. Let's get one through to the finals.
Right.
Well, so like, I know I was reading the level 5 chat for My Whoosh Championships, and there was a couple riders up near the top. They could move up with spots, within GC, and they had planned out to like race. Like they were racing this stage that's above me, the Columbia 80 kilometers, and they kind of had, hey, at this spot we're all going to go. Watching Wild Peter, who's Stein Holmes, he's on a different team, and they had people, they were racing against each other. That was some of the most exciting racing I've watched indoors in a while. From Cat 5, the level team attacking, trying to get away, to get a gap, to get time against the BMC riders and the rest of the peloton. It was super exciting. So like in that aspect, that is certainly a way the team can work. But it was long enough race and coordinated enough that everyone worked and contributed. So it just depends.
Was it exciting because you knew what was going on, or could a regular?
No, it wouldn't have
viewer...
mattered. It wouldn't have mattered because you could see. I knew what level was doing. I knew what those riders were doing. But regardless, you saw these riders attacking, got a gap, and then the peloton sat up for a second, and then you saw the people around Wild Peter just like they were going. They knew that they had to go for the team aspect. Okay. So that was really neat. And then like the same thing happened in Cat 2. I caught the sprint from Nathan Guerrera. I guess there was there were some issues where 2 teams, and I don't understand the full aspect, but there was 2 riders from a team that got dropped, and 2 teammates went back to pull them back. So Nathan and his team were trying to coordinate to get, because they wanted to move up and get a gap, and they had this gap. So like Nathan was all stoked about it, and whatever they were looking for, they had like 15 seconds ahead of the team that draw back. So that kind of made it exciting. Like after the fact, maybe during it, if I was watching Nathan, if I wasn't racing, it would have really added to it. So there were some things within My Whoosh Championships that the team aspect really made, that exciting. In the racing, like, going back to the qualifiers for this, I know USA did it a little bit different than Canada. So it is interesting that the different countries will use kind of different qualifiers to get through. I didn't
even really know about it. I stumbled upon Nathan doing his race, and that's how I watched the qualifiers. Like I didn't know. I don't think it was. I don't read the USA Cycling communications very often because it's a lot of just gravel rides and stuff. But was it communicated at all outside of?
I'm not going to lie. If I was not, I don't stand a chance. I was not interested. But I think if you were interested, you probably could find it. But no, I did not see anything like in my email from, hey, do this, how to do it.
But even just to spectate. Spectate.
But yeah, that's right. I didn't know anything about it. I knew it was happening, but I didn't know details. I'll put it that way. And now I didn't go looking for them, but it never come across in anything that, from the communication from My Whoosh or USA Cycling. If it did, I just overlooked it and deleted the email or scrolled past it on Facebook or whatever. But I didn't see a clear, hey, US, whatever, men, come try this. In Canada, I knew about just because of Zavarese.
Well, and I forgot because if you participated in nationals, they sent out an email a little while ago to anyone who participated in nationals and said, hey, you're eligible to race qualifiers for world semifinals. And I mean, being a member of their Discord, it was all over that as well. But I,
the Canadians are resourceful for sure.
Well, I think it was probably sent out in a standard mailer, because I mean,
Yeah.
I get a weekly Cycling Canada email of what's going on, and it was in there as well. So you kind of knew about it. I mean, if you're a member of Cycling Canada, you would have known about it.
Maybe we can ask Josh. Maybe you can ask Josh.
Yes. But yeah, here we have up on the screen, though, the results of the men's USA Open qualifiers with Nathan Guerrera taking the win.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
He and Marcus Duval were going at it for quite a while.
Now, I don't know how Cycling USA chooses, because I know with Cycling Canada, we had Thomas Thrall, who is the defending US national champion, or sorry, Canadian national champion. I was looking at the US list. So he is in. I mean, he made it to the finals of My Whoosh last year, but we also have like Benjamin Brignall, Bruce Bird, and Jean-Michel.
Yeah.
His last name's cut off. Now, I know with Cycling Canada, placing well in qualifiers doesn't necessarily get you in a spot. Like, it's in the fine print when you sign up, and they've said it on the Discord where, you know, Canada has 10 spots to go to the finals. Actually, I think where's the USA list?
But that was only
Canada
a
has
16 kilometer race.
Or 5.
Yeah, that's what I was meaning about the team aspect, Kellison.
So Canada did 2 races. They did stage 1, which was 16 kilometers, and stage 2, which was 8.9. So they did point system for. So if you look on stage 1, they had the first lap, second lap, third lap, fourth lap based on points. This was the overall for both races. So Canada has 5 spots for men into My Whoosh World semifinals. So technically 4 people were in qualifiers, but you never know the politics involved, because I'm sure if, say, like a World Tour pro came and said, I want to do this race, Cycling Canada is probably going to be like, well, I guess so. You know, like, I mean, there's not a big issue because only 4 people attended qualifiers and there's 5 spots. Where you might run into it is, you know, even the men's, there's 6 that went into men's qualifiers, and Cycling USA has 10 spots for men. So there's a good chance, technically, you would think all 6 of these guys would make it to the semifinals or be chosen for, you know, USA Cycling's semifinal team.
Right. Well, it's exciting. I mean, everyone was kind of knocking the sort of like, well, it's going to be on My Whoosh. It's not going to be. They're still doing it now. The popularity has fallen off, it looks like. But I think that's just because the word isn't. It doesn't the word isn't out now. It's August. Doesn't it happen in October?
October 3rd is semifinals, and then November. But I was saying before we started the show, like, I raced in nationals, so technically I could have gone in this open qualifiers. I'm not going to make the team, and I would only be going to increase the numbers of the race. And does this particular kind of a race need increased numbers? Like, I'd be on the course 20 minutes after everyone finished. So there's literally no point. And there might have been a bunch of other people in the same situation that thought, you know, I don't want to be in this race. I don't need to be in this race. So the numbers don't bother me too much, that there wasn't like 40 people showed up. Oh my gosh, you know, for qualifiers. I think everyone knows who's getting in.
Yeah, but isn't there something to, like, the sport's thriving? Like, if there's nobody showing up, it's like, well, you know,
they're already taking from a limited list because you had to have competed in nationals to be in this race. So already the list is like narrowed from the first.
I wonder why they decided to do that.
Just the governing body decision. Makes sense though. I mean, like, if you want to race worlds, you got to race nationals. Like,
yeah, but if you're new to, what if you're new to the sport? You just want to race. then you missed out. And that was like in February,
No,
right? It was
you
like
didn't
March.
though. There's open qualifiers. This is
This is
USA.
open.
So we were showing the results for Canada, USA, but there is open qualifiers. So if you just didn't race nationals and didn't get to go in the Canadian national qualifier race, you can still race open.
So your Canadian was closed, and the United States was an open qualifier.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure what happened with the United States. The Canadian was closed. You had to have raced Canadian nationals to get into the Canadian qualifier.
And this is how many more qualifiers are they having?
That was it. Just the 2 races.
So that's what I'm saying. Like you just close it. Like, oh, you have to be into the sport like a year ago.
But even if you do in open qualifiers, that doesn't mean Cycling Canada is going to choose you. And,
no, I understand that. But what
the
if you're
qualifiers themselves, Cycling Canada doesn't need to choose anyone from the qualifiers. They could literally not take Thomas Thrall.
Right. Are we trying to make the hoops so unattainable that we like you have all these prerequisites? Like you would have to have competed in a national race for a world's race to compete in this? That seems like that seems elitist.
So
I think that seems like proper qualifying. Like literally, if you're following national body qualifications, that's what they've asked for. I mean, of all the things, like they can't.
Okay. Okay. All right. So let me ask you this: Did they state that if you compete in this national championship, you then are you are allowed to then compete in the world qualifiers?
Yes, that was stated very clearly in the tech guide.
Okay.
You knew before nationals that you had to race nationals to race qualifiers. Like everyone knew that. You know,
I get it. They're trying to find the cream of the crop. You know, if you quote Macho Man Randy Savage, cream of the crop. But
I'm sure the list was even chosen before this even goes this far.
Yeah, but but we're also like these seem more coveted of the prestige of this race or this event is the top of the cycling world, right? The World Championships are the top of the cycling world, aside from maybe the Tour de France.
So if we're going to talk top of the cycling world, just want to point out second place in the Women's Canada qualifier.
Oh, friend of the show. Go ahead, Brian.
Dominique Chalabois.
They're fantastic.
Placed second overall.
But back to my point of we're like a OTR race on Bike Terra.
Excuse me.
Right? An OTR race on Bike Terra has more signups than this.
Yes.
Is that good or bad?
So,
see, normally I would be like, oh, that's so bad that they only had 5 people. But in this situation, this I don't feel is as bad.
Okay.
Because
so the sport
like
is thriving.
Say, this was, like I say, you had to have raced nationals, which already was a diminished amount of people. Like there was 17 in my category. I mean, for my age group, but I mean, you were taking 17. So I mean, when you combine it, technically there could have been 80 men in the category. But I qualified, but I felt that this level of race, it would have been detrimental for someone like me to go in. Like I would be the Eddie the Eagle who doesn't know how to ski jump and goes to the Olympics. That's what I felt. Like I said, I didn't want to be in this race where they're like, well, Lisa Avries is still on the course and everyone finished 15 minutes. We're just going to wait till he finishes. He better hurry because stage 2 starts in 3 minutes.
That makes sense. I understand that.
But yes, Canada still has. So here we got 4 women Canada can choose and 5 men.
Yeah.
Who they're choosing, we don't know, but this race here, could determine, which I would love to see, because
this
semifinals.
isn't you're saying this is not a determining factor. This is a part of the selection.
Well, like I said, Hover, because you never know. I think this is like a to see how in shape the top of the top is. I mean, all these people are competitive. Thomas Thrall is super competitive. But when Thomas Thrall wins Canadian Nationals, maybe he was like, woohoo, I won Nationals February. Maybe he drank beer for the rest of the year. And then he shows up in qualifiers and he places 5th and he puts out 3.2 watts per kilo because he gained 50 pounds for drinking all the beer. So they run this race and go, oh shit, he's in peak condition still. Like, he put out 5.3 in between the two races. He's ready. I mean, Bruce Bird put out 406 average watts.
Yeah.
Dude's a beast.
Yeah.
The weird thing for me is there's just it's like just nationals. And then was there Canadian versus the world this year? I can't remember.
Yeah, there was.
A couple. But there's no like racing.
No, there should be.
Racing season to like lead up to.
No, and we've kind of talked about that too.
Yeah, that's the thing.
When we talked with Josh about having more value. And I know there's been some emails going back and forth, sort of like with Cycling BC, where there almost needs to be like on a national level, an esports series. So maybe you'd have an esports series leading up to Canadian Federation qualifiers, where you have 5 or 6 races rather than just have one race in February, one race in August. Oh, you guys get to go to. But with esports, though, a lot of these guys have been racing all the time anyways. A lot of these guys are racing SRC. So when Cycling Canada, I think they put this kind of a race on more for just show.
Yeah, but I'm saying I understand. It's not to have their own side competition. I'm saying like make the SRC part of the Canadian series or something like that, where it's like a points thing and you're like, oh, you have to do the OTR Bike Terra race or whatever, and then that's that, or the team time trial throughout the year.
They'd have to do it in a way, because I know leading into nationals with the race series where you had to race, that annoyed a lot of people. That was a lot.
Yeah, like the Echelon series.
Yeah.
Like for USA, you had to do that too. I think doing SRC, that's already a established thing. So I think doing that as a like prerequisite, say you got to do 5 in the last 6 months or something.
Yeah, I could see just doing SRC being like, you need to do your PPT and you need to do like 2 SRC races in the next 3 months to, But the problem then is SRC is at like 1 a.m. So you can't tell people, well, you can't race nationals unless you race 1 a.m.
So let's try to, like, we're totally not the experts at all. We probably need somebody that knows what they're talking about less than us. Like swimming competitions or gymnastics, right? There's yearly or throughout the season, there's competitions where you gain points. So let's say you do like the ATP, which is the Association of Tennis Players, right? And you're getting points throughout the year. And like, okay, you have a ranking. And then when it comes to do a larger tournament, that's how they figure out your ranking, where it's not so much ranking, it's more of like, hey, you have enough points, you've accumulated enough to be allowed to compete in this race. But since the sport is not thriving, we don't have that. We just have show up and race.
Yeah, I'd like to see that. There's a funny story about that with snowboarding halfpipe when it first came out in the Olympics. A girl went around Europe and entered all the
events,
Olympic qualifying events that had very, very low attendance. And all she had to do was get to the end of the run. And if you didn't crash, they would give her like a base score of like 10 points. Mm-hmm. And she accumulated enough points. She made it to the Olympic team.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Which is like a funny story though too, like but at the same time, it was like the whole reason why I don't want to go to race in the qualifiers is like she was at the Olympics being on film and she just like skied down the hill
skied down the ramp.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just trying to find ways like how are we trying to make this sport thrive? I mean, we're going into the cold season where it's the indoor season, at least in the northern hemisphere, right? What is grabbing our attention? The World Championships? There's no more elite racing there's no, what was it called? Zwift Games or whatever it called, or Zwift.
Yeah, the Zwift World Series Zwift Games.
It's tough.
SRC
I think there's a lot of things that can be done, but it's a difficult thing. Like, especially now when we start talking about elite racing and all these qualifiers. You know, I read that article on trainers on Escape Collective.
Yeah, you did read that.
Which was super interesting because we've been saying that for years. Like, trainers aren't even that accurate to be handling any racing, really. You know, like the variance in trainers and the variance in people's weights. Like, it's just a very, very difficult sport to do remotely. There's so many variables that are hard to get through.
How do we know it's a genuine effort?
Yeah, genuine efforts, making things fair. Like, how do you know it's fair that you just went and bought a trainer that's maybe plus 5%? It's plus or minus 1%, but it reads 5% higher. And then the other dude bought a trainer that reads 5% lower, but it's still plus or minus 1%. So now you have a 10% variance on like rando trainers of the same model.
And then trainers.
It's just fun. It's just a workout, guys.
It's just a workout. It's just fun.
Take Kellison versus me. Take you and Kellison versus me. You two ride in your garage where it's anywhere from boiling to like death, and it's 65 degrees in my basement.
Actually, Kellison's shed at 43 degrees, his trainer is already reading wrong. He probably has 40 more watts than he actually does because his trainer's overheating all the time and in limp mode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
so
supposedly there's a temperature gauge on the trainers now.
I've had it where I've had a fan on my kicker before.
Yeah.
Because there's been certain races that have a lot of hill climbing. You can't even touch. Like, you could put your hands a few inches away and the flywheel is smoking hot. Like, how are things not melted?
Yeah.
Well, that's why they have the in-person for these high qualifier things. But like getting to this point, okay. Let's go into something else. I want to talk about Bike Terra. So
before we move to there, let me just say.
Yes.
For my Whoosh championships, anyone who did it, like, that was a massive achievement. That was crazy. It was like 18 hours of riding that I did in 8 days. So it completely disrupted your lifestyle. So it's a massive thank you, not only to my Whoosh for doing it, the team behind it, but also the family and kids and dogs that were like, what the hell is going on here for hours and hours? People getting up in the middle of the night. Flight sleep was like retarded. She posted her sleep. Unbelievable what she did. So massive, not just to my Whoosh, but the families around us that put up with us not being able to move and whatever after we were done racing. So thank you, everyone.
All right. That's good. Big shout out. I mean, it seemed like it was the big participation and people enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Yes.
I had notes and I don't remember what they were. I think 335 men started, 295 finished. Women was a much better start versus finish aspect. Say it was like 199 and 187, something like that. So roughly, give or take a little bit. So it was massive women finished it. Now I could certainly say the true heroes was not Jason Osborne and Michael Vink and the Cat 1 guys doing 6.5 watts per kilogram for 2 hours. The Cat 5 and 6 guys on Mount Fuji out there for over 3.5 to 4 hours.
Yikes.
Those were the legends. Yeah.
That's tough. If anyone's ever done 2 hour plus ride on a trainer, it's tough. So. Right on. Well, congratulations to My Whoosh and the My Whoosh Championships.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any more? That it? I think I was wrapping that up. Yeah.
And I will say I think the verification aspect, like they were still DQing and annulling people, like even on the last stage. So like they weren't. If something was askew, they
Okay, good.
They didn't hold back. So from the verification aspect, I think it was pretty good.
All right, moving on. Bike Terra. I threw it on Thursday and then I wrote it today for the show. They have a couple little updates. There's a new in-ride UI. There's a couple things that I didn't notice until I read the email from Matt Gibbs, or it was the Bike Terra email, whatever. But so he actually did another one. He updated another thing which was not in this newest update, but it's now point to point. So if you see in the middle of the UI, for the people that have never ridden Bike Terra, at the bottom there's the profile. You essentially, the start of the course is at the center of the thing, and the course
it moves.
Scrolls through. It moves. Oh. It doesn't do that anymore. Now it's you start on the left-hand side and you see the whole profile.
Goodness.
Yeah.
Whenever I was racing and you're in like the hurt zone and I would look at the map, I'd be like, where am I?
Yeah.
What is going on?
So
it took you a minute to figure out what was happening.
Yeah. That's one big thing. Then also the little mini map to the right. You can toggle if you click the little compass in the top right of that little mini map of the compass inside the mini map, not in the top right of the entire screen. Hopefully that came across. You can now it'll be, what is it? I don't know what it's called, but instead of natural direction, it's more of straight up direction. So your arrow's constantly going up and the map will move underneath and adjust to, like, if you're going, a left, the map rotates versus the arrow that's representing you, and you can toggle that back and forth.
Oh, I like that.
Now the other thing, the other thing that they're doing the live Vuelta. So you ride with the pros, right? That's the live thing. The other thing is if you can scroll down. I don't know if it's on here. If this maybe it's in the email. It's not even on this one. This might. This is view distance setting. This is even older. They have a new thing called draft stickiness. If you can find my video from today, maybe it's in here. Yeah, scroll down. I have video of it. I tried to figure out what was going on. Yeah, that's not it. It was the most recent email. But in the meantime, when you take go look at my VOD from today for today's stream when I was doing Bike Terra. The cool thing is it has like this cool indicator. It's like a slider left or right, and there's sort of like this circle and then a dot that you're trying to hold the draft. Now, I really don't know exactly what the information is, but there's multiple settings. There's off, so you're getting in the thing, it's called draft stickiness, and it's talking about braking to stay within the draft or on someone's wheel, I think. I don't know if it's sticky, what sticky draft is considered. It's like there's a weak, medium, and strong effort. And what I noticed, and I could be totally wrong, maybe it's placebo here, is when I had it on the strongest, it was the hardest for me to break off of somebody's draft to get around them to move up to the next group. And then when I went to medium, medium seemed like the best between, staying on someone's wheel and then moving up and around them. Okay. Yeah, you see that there. Go full screen on this if you can. The little stickiness. Oh, scroll through the video here as we talked for all the audio only audience. There, I do a couple demonstrations of like what it's like. Yeah, there he goes. There's the screen right there. Pause right there. So that's the little notes that it says. You can read the Zavris. I can't read it. It's too small.
So draft stickiness is how strongly your rider will brake to hold a position in a draft. Higher values will require. Oh, so what basically this is like, we talked about this, the sticky draft in Zwift all the time,
Okay.
where like when you would snap on to a rider,
Snap on. Yeah.
this is allowing you to adjust whether you want to snap on, and it adjusts the level of how hard it is to snap on, or turn it off and you go around and you don't draft. So this would be kind of interesting, because really you could use this in like a TTT situation where you make the wattage really high for you to pull out of the draft.
Yeah.
And so you don't accidentally ever get out of line unless you really, really want to get out of the line.
Yeah. So let me ask you this. I was doing this and I was thinking this could be used as a gaining advantage. So you'd want to turn this off in events, right?
Because also what would happen is you could potentially be in the draft pushing way more watts than you should, thinking that you're still in the draft, but your guy won't break off.
Yeah, I wasn't. So I turned it off. Bridge over to bridge up to the next group on the final climb. If you scroll through the video, you could probably find the where the climb is. But what I was doing is like, I was turning it off and then finding a group and turning it back on. Does that snap me back on and make it easier for me?
It would make it easier for you to like snap away from somebody.
Okay. Yeah.
But see what happens is it doesn't tell you the wattage.
Yeah,
in that little thing, it said weak, strong, or light.
Yeah, so you kind of, as soon as you read the description, you knew what was going on. I didn't really know what was going on, because I still don't know what's going on with sticky draft or sticky watts or whatever's going on in Zwift. But this, I like that it's something where it's visually telling you. Now, also the slide indicator, I don't know what's left and what's right and what's in the center. When I was on medium and I was behind somebody's wheel, I was mostly in the middle, in the little circle. The dot was sort of like moving into the circle, so that's like optimal, correct?
Yeah.
But what is that? So I don't know what this indicator is telling you.
Well, it's nice that it's giving you a visual, because you can learn over time of how it works by watching your wattage, going, if I just drop off a little bit, the dot goes away. It's the same sort of thing when it tells you like 4 meters, 3 meters, 2 meters. You kind of know, like if I float around in the 1 to 2 meter section, that seems to be the sweet spot, where this is just giving you a visual, it's kind of the same thing as with showing the rider as it gets closer to the other people, like in Rouvy, it'll tell you perfect, good, it kind of describes in words how well you're in the draft with a wattage number, where this gives you something to target. You can sit there and watch that, ball moving across and try to line it up. And like I say, if you're watching your wattage over time, you'll know like, okay, I can ride at this wattage. I'll be behind the guy. And then if you play around with off, weak, and medium, it probably should be very obvious what's happening and what's not happening. If you're doing 300.
I'm curious if we should have something like, I think it should just be an indicator where you turn it on to see the indicator. Yeah. But it's not actually affecting the physics. Mm-hmm. Right? That's what I think it should be. I think I would prefer to have like what we used to have. Here we go. RGT. We're already, whatever. But the mark tape, the old, hey, you're in the draft. Like you didn't see it visually on the screen on the course. You saw it in your little sort of not navigation bar, but the data bar, data fields. It was showing you kind of off the back or optimal. It was actually giving you a visual indicator of like, you're saving this many watts to stay in this world. You need to do this. That's where it's like, I like that it's showing you something, but I don't know if it should be, I'm trying to figure out what it's showing us.
I need to test this. I need to look at this, because this has me intrigued with the off, medium, strong, weak.
That's the thing that's weird. It's more of like, is it doing something physically, or is it, because it says breakness. It says draft. What is it? Softness.
Like, is it breaking you?
Yeah, it's breaking you. So it's doing something. It's physically changing something. And so that's where I'm like, go ahead.
Well, I was thinking, because what's happening is it's breaking you so you stay in the draft. Like if you have it set as draft stickiness as strong, it's breaking you whether or not you're doing too many watts. So in a normal situation, if you're doing a certain amount of watts, you will ride around the person. This is holding you in that draft, whether you are going too many watts, or I think if you do too little watts, you're going to fall off. It just means that if you're doing more watts than you should be, kind of like wasting the draft if you have it in strong, because you should be pulling around the rider. But this is all needs to be tested, though, because who knows? I have no idea. This is like the second time I've ever seen this.
Yeah.
So I could be completely wrong.
The other thing is
everything I just said.
Yeah, I'm using it because it was new, so I was toggling it on and trying different settings. But I think the goal is to just find the one that you prefer and use that all the time. That's where I'm trying to get clarification. I was talking to Matt about this in my stream before I tested it today. I was like excited for this new feature, right? And when I started to read about it, it was stickiness and then braking. Those are like two physical things, like two physics things that are happening, right? But go ahead, Brian.
My question is, all right, let's say like Smith in the chat said, should it be used? Should it be able to switch on and off during a race? So my thought is, if I have it on like super hard, whatever, high, and I say I'm drafting you at 275 watts, I ramp up the power to say 400. All right, and that breaks the draft. Is that going to be like a slingshot to poof? Is that like an extra boost to get by?
I don't want it to do anything physically.
Yeah.
I just want it to be an indicator like the gradient or the draft indicator or your watt indicator. It should not be affecting physics. That's when we need to get direction. That's why we need to get, like, I need to talk to Matt, because that's the sort of thing. I was using it as like a slingshot. I would turn it off so I could get away from the stickiness that I was stuck on before, the group going up the climb. And then when I got on the back of a wheel, I put it on strong or weak or medium or whatever it was. And it was like, oh, now I'm cruising and I'm locked in on the stickiness.
Yeah, like the
that's
way
an advantage game. That's what we don't want that in the game. We don't want that in the game. That's like that. Then
the way I read it would
toggle.
Be, you're riding behind someone and you need to maintain 200 watts to stay in their draft. If you turn it on medium, and say, if you're doing 200 watts, if you do 225 watts, you pull out and pass them. The way I read this is, if you put it on medium, instead of having to do 225 watts, you now have to do 250 watts to pass them. And then if you put it on strong, you have to do 275 watts to pass them. But it could be and get into a situation exactly like Brian White said, is all of a sudden now you get out of their draft, you're doing way more watts than you would normally to just pull and gently go around them. Do you all of a sudden go really fast, quicker?
This seems like something, if it is that, it sees something that's just for free riding or like fun group ride. This would not be in like a competitive event, like one of the OTR events.
Well, that's why I was saying this would be super useful in TTTs, because even if you had a person behind you go slightly more than they should, they're locked in way harder than they normally would if everyone had it on strong. And then you would know, like, if you were up next from second wheel to pulling, you'd be doing that little burst anyways to get off, and the person in front would actually drop off. So in TTTs, this would probably be magic.
Well, the cool thing is
perfect straight line the whole time.
Right. One of the biggest features that were released in the most recent stuff was team time trials are now available in Biketerra.
I'm super interested to try.
Yeah. And then if you're saying you could use this for that, maybe. But then you're going a really hard effort and you're toggling your menu all the time, which I wouldn't want to be doing. So
definitely worth some more testing. It's interesting. Yeah, the updates that are constantly coming through Biketerra are
very cool.
Appreciated. And there's some like interesting things they're doing, like with the collision physics and that.
That was one thing that I was noticing. It's real, like when I was in a group of like 2 or 3, and the person who was on the front of the draft, so like the tip of the arrowhead, right? On some of these, you can see it on some of these, like on the in between the big climb. Yeah, like right here. Oh,
I want to see you on a downhill.
Even on a downhill, check the downhills. You'll see people that sort of caution physics.
Yeah.
that person on the front goes off and gets a big gap, and they bridged over to the next group. I was like, man, that's the whatever the thing we were talking about, the caution physics.
Well, because that's exactly it. If you're in a peloton and you're ripping down a hill, there's no way the peloton is going to be going as fast as a person that's off the front that has clear road.
Yeah.
And Casey proved that in the first race that they came up with it. He went hard off of the first, got a gap on everyone, and no one could catch him on the downhill because he was solo, taking every turn faster than everyone else was. The peloton was getting a higher draft benefit on the straights, but on the turns, he was making up huge distance. I mean, if everyone disagrees, go watch Tom Pidcock at the Tour de France.
Yeah, right. Yeah, a couple years ago.
Was that Alpe d'Huez or something? What did he bomb down?
No.
Well, it was like, he had clear road, but he was bombing down insanely fast.
Yeah.
I think they wish that they were riding Alpe d'Huez, that Zwift would be, because then they would get.
Jeez. Yeah, you see how
right. You're in that
I
world.
am.
You're in that world, buddy.
God.
Well,
Alpe d'Huez. How about that?
No. You finish on Alpe d'Huez. You don't go on the over it and descend on the back side of it.
The group actually started to string out a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
For the visually or the audio only, we're looking at the down.
The person in white started creating a gap.
Bringing it out, yeah. It's really cool physics, yeah. It might be a little too exaggerated for some people's liking, but I think it's kind of cool to see. So maybe it's a little too much because I think people were getting too much of a gap.
A lot of people sit in on downhills, and this kind of makes, if you know a downhill, like if you're going up a hill and you know there's a long downhill and you're in the group, it kind of gives you an incentive to try to break away and go solo over the top.
Or even just stay in the front.
Because if you can go over the top by yourself, you're going to get a decent advantage. Like, look at all the bunched up people going into these turns.
No, but see, watch this. This is a perfect example of it bunching up. And then I get out of the saddle. I push a hard effort because this is the tail end. This is the last little
and
sharp
then you're starting
part.
to go uphill. And you're pushing. And you're passing.
Yeah.
Short little uphill here.
Dude, Bacteria's got the flow. Man. I put maximum amount of, they're called roamers. So there's pace partners. So you can have, I had 0 pace partners around me. It's just the roamers. You can turn that on and turn it off. If you want to ride by yourself and just have nobody on the road, you can do that. Or you can have a bunch of people out there. These are all not real people. These are just bots or whatever. But it helped me sort of do the slider indicator thing, whatever that thing was called, the draft stickiness.
Well,
but then also testing. Yeah, it totally helps for testing. Is what we did on RGT, another reference. But we could do rides and add bots where this is like instantaneous. We didn't have to create a magic road. Like, this is on every course. You can turn these on and turn these off. So
you just crested the hill.
Yeah. Watch the person off the front go a little bit to get that little bit of a gap.
See, it's perfect. It's not a lot.
Yeah,
just
not a lot.
Little bit, but they actually got, a couple 5 feet.
Yeah.
You're pedaling straight, you pass them, next turn comes up, you're coasting.
Yeah. You can coast in this game. You do not
everyone
have to
see, but it was only 3 of you.
Yeah.
Because I really notice it is if it's like 4 people wide. It really restricts you when it's 4 people wide. Like right now, you touched elbows right there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you dove for the turn, but still you're just ahead of them.
Also the turning too, the banking, the way the riders, that's why I'm saying this game has a lot of flow. The way that you, like, even a sharp corner, you're taking, like, the rider banks, like, leans into a turn and leans out of a turn, which is, I know people don't really like the avatars themselves, but the way the motion of most of the motion of the avatars is good. There's some little glitchies on some of the pedaling.
Twerking going on.
Yeah, they do. They still do some people get high cadence and some twerking. The other thing I notice is when they get out of the saddle, they do, like, your everyone's shoulders get tighter. Like, everyone, it's pretty funny. Everyone gets out and they get tighter shoulders.
Yeah, for the visual audience, you could see the difference between the anti-flow above my head on my whoosh versus Bike Terra.
Oh, dude. Yeah. That's a good, great call, Brian. You can totally see the way that I've been riding through groups. And it's not all this left, right. It's like, dude,
there's
you
a
flow
lot of
through.
movement in my whoosh. Like, got a lot things right, but yeah, that is chaotic.
For 2 hours on the final day of this, there was 60 of us roughly. I don't even know. Majority of the peloton stayed together in Cat 4. And my God, by the end of it, I was so irritated with this. But that is it.
I know, that's...
Besides this avatar situation we have above my head with my whoosh, the knowing who's on my team for SRC or whatnot, those are my two biggest requests. Like, let's fix the groups here.
Well, yeah, like Scott in chat was like, how do you know who's on your team? Because we do keep talking about teams in SRC, but it's like, unless you know the person's name and you're on the team, like as a viewer, you have no idea who's on what team. Like,
and everyone's
all wearing red
SRC,
jerseys.
Yeah, and they're all saying that they're all wearing the same.
Yeah, the biggest thing we tried doing is like fixing a hair, hat, or maybe the bike the same color, but it still don't matter because I still have no idea. I've actually attacked a teammate in a breakaway one time because I didn't realize it was my teammate. Like he was one of the guys that had like 5 names.
Sounds like you.
So I just saw like part of his name, and I'm like, I'm going.
And then like a movie you would do.
Yeah. After the thing, he's like, why did you attack me? He's like, I honestly had no idea you were on my team. I'm sorry. Yeah.
All right, guys, you want to get out of here? Sorry for the late start, everybody. It was my technical difficulties. But I think that was good. Ruvy's got a good challenge Majorca.
So the Rouvy's got the community challenge going on. As a community, you have to ride a certain amount of kilometers before the next stage. Due to it being summer, the community hasn't even gotten 25% into first stage. So if you ride Rouvy, get your 25 kilometers in because you have to complete each stage to have your name in the draw for the bike.
For the €10,000 bike.
Yes.
A real bike?
Real bike,
yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
The last community challenge, they actually had a video for the start of this community challenge. And it was the guy who won the bike the last challenge. He was holding the bike up, and they were showing him riding it to show that it was like real.
Awesome. All right, let's get out of here. Yeah?
All right. Yeah.
Sorry about the technical difficulties. Casey said he's going to try to make it next week. But on that note, good show. Any shout outs?
Congratulations to all the qualifiers, whether you qualified
congratulations
or not.
to all the qualifiers.
Thanks for racing.
Yeah. And several of our female audience scored very well within My Whoosh Championship.
And if you did the My Whoosh Championship, make sure you fill out your form to get your free kit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's I forget what it is. I filled 2 out because there was some confusion. So if you filled 1 out like a few days ago, there was another one sent out because of our supplier issue. That's a very good point, Zabaris. So I think tomorrow, the 25th, is the last day, if I remember correctly. So if you filled 1 out.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. If you filled 1 out for your, not the prize money, this is just for the actual gift pack you got for finishing all 7 stages, which is pretty awesome. I'll give a rundown of it real quick. You get a set of bibs, 2 jerseys, socks, gloves, I think a hat, some water bottles, like a legit travel bag, refrigerator magnets of each stage, like the profile or the course or something, cool. And then like a finisher medal. And there might have been one other thing, but yeah, it's phenomenal. Like what they are giving out.
I feel like a lot of times that I'm in the know on stuff. I did not read the fine print on the entry. I just automatically dismissed it because it was 1 a.m. and was like, hell no.
And the courses are really long,
Reese. I probably would have woken up at 1 a.m. for all that stuff. That is a lot of gear.
You are an endurance rider, so you probably would have been able to do it.
I mean, I wouldn't have raced it to like win.
No,
I just would have woken up,
yeah.
finished, got the kit. Like, that's amazing.
Good
There
on
was
my
my
Wish.
Woosh.
There was a I can't even think of Jacques Rusnik. He did the same thing. Like he was solo. He just did it just for the stuff, basically.
Huh.
So yeah,
Very cool.
shout out to him as well. And he was pretty competitive just within the category as well. So
Right on. Okay, we got our shout outs in and fill out the form. You did it. On that note, time to say goodbye.
Good night.
all right,
Bye, everybody.
hey, see you guys.
Bye.